Alright guys, there we go. Timing belt on the Subaru 2.5 STI engine. What a mess in here. So we'll move on here. You can see on my previous video, I took the crank pulley out and take out this bolt right here. It was super easy. It's a belt trick. You don't need special tools to hold that pulley, and then you just use a socket and a breaker bar to take out this bolt right here. Pretty easy, simple. Check out that video. But now we'll start removing this cover right here. We're gonna be doing the timing belt on this bad boy. Let's go. All right, taking out these cover bolts on the bottom here. I believe there's 3 or 4, and then on the top here there's about 5 bolts up here. So we're gonna use 10 mil on these bolts right here. Just zip them off. These bolts are super rusty. It should be okay to reuse them, but for me, I need to buy a new one, because I always like to see this when it's nice and shiny, not rusted out. So it's gonna buy the new bolts to replace this old one. All right, you're gonna have to use a ratchet on this one because I can't reach my impact in here. So I have to use a ratchet with a 2-inch extension right there. That's the bolt. Cut that loose, and then there's another one right here. Crack that loose. There's one here too, but that's a bracket for this steel right here, steel pipe. So I don't know if you're gonna take that out. There's one right here. 3 bolts. And this cover here is ready to come out. There we go. Get the rubber gasket together as well. There we go. This cover needs some cleaning. You can see it's really disgusting. All right, let's take a look at this here. This is going to be the first time looking at this since who knows when did they change this timing belt. Look at that. Grease and dirt just built up in there. Here's the tension thermostat. I got a new one coming in, the OE one. We'll be changing the water pump on this at the same time. Alright guys, before we take out this old belt right here, we're going to be taking out this 8 mil head right here. We're going to use the 8 mil socket. I'm going to take out this cover right there because that cover, we're going to be installing this tool right here. Company 23 is the brand. You can buy this online, eBay, Amazon, 30, 40 bucks. So we need to install this kit, because if you don't, after you take out this belt, there's a tension on this 2 sprockets right here. There's a tension. Alright guys, we're gonna set this engine to a TDC here on a crank. You can see this is a sprocket. You can see it's not marked right now because I didn't do anything yet. The marking is down here. See that sprocket mark? We need to move that to that mark on the housing right there on number 1 compression. So number 1 cylinder on this is this side right here. So this is number 1, number 2 cylinder, number 3 at the back, and then number 4 at the other side. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are the numbers of the cylinder. That's not the firing order, number of the cylinder. Alright, so I cut a metal rod right there. It's long enough to go into the cylinder. And you can feel bottoming it out to the piston. Alright, and then we'll open this up. Look for the valve. So you can see, focus, the valve is kind of close. Alright, we're just gonna spin this crank and let's see if that rod will come out or go in. So this thing will spin clockwise. Okay, it goes like that. Alright, you can see that that rod is coming out. The piston is going up. The piston is going up, so that could be our exhaust stroke, or it could be our compression stroke. And my mark on the crank here, it's about 9 o'clock. It needs to be at 12. So only way to find out if it's exhaust or compression is it'll be tough. See if I can put my hand in here, if I can feel the air come out while I'm spinning the ratchet here. If there's an air come out, it means that it's compression stroke, because all the valves are closed, right? So let's try this. Oh yeah, I can feel the air. So that would be the compression stroke. The marking doesn't line up quite yet. This is the old belt. I haven't touched anything yet. I haven't loosed anything yet. So you can see on our crank sprocket here, you get the little mark, rectangle right there, and then a triangle right about 3 o'clock right there, and then back there in the housing, that's a mark right there for TDC. I'm gonna take out this cover and show you what's behind there. Alright, so take out that cover, relock the ring right there. There you go. See how there's a mark right there? That is the mark right there that you need to line up to the housing right there. So that mark is the same thing as the mark on our rectangle right there. Okay, keep in mind on that shape rectangle. So on this side here, on the passenger side, 1 notch lined up, and then 1 notch lined up to the housing. That's good. And then the 2 notches right there. That's good. That's on the passenger. And then on the driver, 1 notch lined up. It's hard to see from this side. 1 notch on the 3 o'clock. And it's always, I don't know why, every Subaru mechanic would know this. It doesn't line up quite yet here because of the tension of the belt. But this is normal. As long as all the notch on the top here lined up, and same thing on the bottom, 3 o'clock lined up. Alright, so we know that the marks on the cam and cranks are good. But here's my dilemma right here. When I have this rod in here, when I put the mark in, the rod start going down. So it's just right after the TDC on this piston number 1. So that's kind of like make me think, like, why is it when everything marked in here lined up, the piston started going down? It probably moved down about a quarter of an inch from TDC. So I'm gonna quickly show you guys here. First, let's rotate the crank 2 revolution, this crank right here, and then we'll stop at that triangle mark, not the rectangle but triangle. Alright, so counterclockwise rotate. That's 1 and 2. Alright, so triangle mark right there. We're gonna put it to 12 o'clock. Alright, we're gonna line up that triangle. And you can see this rod right here. It moves up, means it's going to the TDC. There you go, stop moving the rod now, because it's on TDC. Now it's about, now the piston is about to go down. All right, there you go. So that's a TDC right there. Okay, so you can see the mark right here, a dot, and that's a line. You can see here's my slit right here. So right now we know it's a TDC right now, top dead center on the piston, but my mark is a lot different. There's a triangle right there. My triangle lined up to that housing right there. Same thing right here. It's a dot line up to the mark, and then this line, single line, it doesn't line up to number 3 o'clock. It looks like it's 1. So they don't line up at all. My cams don't line up straight. It's supposed to be this one, nothing down here. So here, this is what's gonna be on the nutshell right here when you crack it open. So to me, this triangle mark right here is just correlating to our top dead center of our piston. That's it. This is what's telling you that this is a top dead center right now. That triangle. But it's not the mark that we want to do this timing belt. So I'm gonna rotate this crank. There's our rectangle right here. That's 9 o'clock. And I rotate that to our mark on the housing. And like they always say, always go to this mark. Always go on that mark. There's only one mark on the reluctor ring. There's only one mark. Always go to this mark right here. You can see line up with that housing notch right there and right there. Now you can see on this side, all our marks is good. It's good. 2 notch is good. It's good right there. The notch, like I said, kind of okay. And then the 3 o'clock mark right there, it's good. There you guys have it. Okay, so make sure always go to that mark on the sprocket right there on the back. Line it up to the housing. If those line up, you'll be fine. That's it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like the video, thumbs up. I'll see you again on the next one.